Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Difference Makers Media, where we're all about giving you productivity to help you build your business. Today, our marketing tip is 3 strategic marketing tips to get more prospects and build your success. I don't know if I got that clearly here. So, what are those strategies? Well, I've been reading a great book. It's called Purple Cow. Do you notice I'm wearing purple today? And there's a reason. I want to stand out. I want to get remembered. Maybe this doesn't look so unusual on me, but a purple cow would look unusual, wouldn't it? This book was inspired by a man named Seth Godin, and it even has a cover that's purple. It'll stop you in your tracks, won't it? It doesn't look like every other book on the shelf. No, it's purple. And the whole emphasis behind this book, and that's going to be your first strategic tip to learn today, is you want to stand out. You want to be remarkable in order to attract more prospects and build your business. So how do you do that? Well, in the opening of this book, Seth Godin talks about how he was traveling with his family in the French countryside and he saw a large number of cows. And at first he thought it was just wonderful to see all these cows. And he noticed them. But after a while, mile after mile of seeing cows, it got kind of boring. And he didn't want to look at the cows anymore. Now let's compare that to business. If we all stay safe, we don't want to upset the apple cart. We're afraid of looking different. We keep our websites looking the same like everyone else. We keep our wording the same. We even keep the appearance, the design of our websites or the design of our marketing materials, everything looking the same like everyone else. Will we get remembered? What do you think the answer is? Probably not. We're not a purple cow. We want to be different, and by being different, we will get remembered. Now, how did this all come about? How did this idea come about? Well, Seth Godin talked about the P's that most marketing professionals realize are important in marketing. Here are some of those P's: product, pricing, positioning, packaging, even getting permission for marketing. But the P of Purple Cow hasn't really been discussed that much, and that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention today. Being safe can kill your business. So we're going to talk about how to be a purple cow. Well, in the past, how did you stand out? Years and years ago, when my grandfather and grandmother were around, they would go to Maxwell Street, and people would push their carts, and they would call out whatever they were selling, shoes or apples, and people would come to the vendor who they liked, and the businesses would spread by word of mouth. Then along came mass media. We had television, radio, magazines, and all of a sudden, whoever had the most money to spend and could put out the most ads, they got more business. And that worked for quite a while. But now it's almost like we've reversed time. We're going back to word of mouth. But how do we spread business by word of mouth? How do we grow it? Well, as most of you know, if you're watching this right now, you want to do that by being online, joining the party, getting involved, telling your story. But again, it's word of mouth, but it's through online marketing. And again, we want to get our story out to as many people as possible, but we want to be remarkable. And the way to do that is to be different. And I'm going to give you your second tip right now. To be different, you want to tell your story to your niche. Now, right now, I'm being very open with you, very personal. I've told you a little bit about my past, my grandparents being out on Maxwell Street. That's something different. I'm wearing something different, purple. And now I'll tell you a little bit about my story and until we get to our third tip. I have a business that is actually in a period of change right now. I've wanted for a long time to appeal to difference makers. And I realized that I had to do something different in order to appeal to difference makers. Even my company name, Park Avenue Productions, which then became Park Avenue Marketing, and now is transitioning to Difference Makers Media, and that's why this website is here, was all focused on helping nonprofits and entrepreneurs who are heart-centered, passionate about making positive change happen in the world. Those are the people who are my audience, and hopefully you're one of those listening. But initially my company wasn't like that. I just was a writer, which is nothing wrong in being a writer, but I was trying to reach the world. So I wrote for everyone and anyone. I wrote ads. I wrote brochures. I wrote video scripts. I wrote catalog copy. I wrote speeches. I wrote trade shows. And that was fine. But I found that some of my audience, people that I would reach to, were not the people I really, they were not the companies I really wanted to do work for, because the writing ended up often being technical. And even though technical writing is great, it's just not my forte. I like writing words that make a difference. I like writing benefits for clients that are changing lives, whether they're in education, healthcare, social services, the environment, or the arts. So I realized that in order for me to make a bigger difference, I had to speak directly to my audience, to my niche. And that's why I say to you, tell your story to your niche. If someone says to you, well, who is your audience? You don't want to say everyone. The world is everyone, but the world can't always be listening to you, because they're going to tune into who will serve them best. So focus on a niche and tell your story to that niche. Third, very important tip for today, tell part of your story. If you can read that, part of your story. Give value first. So whenever you give something to someone, they often feel they want to give back. It's a spiritual law called the law of reciprocity. In marketing, the way we give value first is just like what I'm doing now, giving tips. And on your website, you'll want to have on your page something called an opt-in box. It's a box where people optionally give their name and email in return for you giving them something of value. That value could be in video, audio, or print format. It doesn't matter. But you're giving something to your audience that they will appreciate and that will help them in building their business. In return, you'll have their name and email so you can market to them on a regular basis. That's called list building. You want to build your list, a list of people who will know, like, and trust you. Why would they do that? Because you've already given them something of value. Of course, they could opt out or unsubscribe to your list at any time, but at least you can show them that you are giving them something of value they can appreciate. So that is really the three main tips of how you're going to build your business. You want to think like a purple cow, be remarkable, be different. You want to tell your story to your specific niche, so people who are looking for what you have to offer will find you. And third, very important, tell your story, but just tell part of it. And why tell part of it? Because ultimately you want people to do business with you. So just like on Amazon, when you can look at a book and get the first 2 chapters free, you'll want to read more if you like that book, so you'll want to buy it. Or in a grocery store where they give you an appetizer, a little piece of cheese, and then if you like it, you'll want to buy the whole thing. So I invite you to think carefully, what would you like to give away to your prospects? Maybe a free report or some video tips or an audio podcast. But whatever it is, when you demonstrate that you care and you give them value, they'll want to engage with you and do business hopefully in the future. I hope this was helpful for you. I've really enjoyed speaking with you today and helping you build your productivity. This is Lynn Sanders wishing you a very profitable year ahead, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you again for listening, and have a great day. Bye-bye.